and welcome back to another Money Tip Monday video. This week we're actually going to be revisiting a topic that we made a video about a couple weeks ago regarding credit. I got a whole bunch of questions on what's good debt, what's bad debt, how many credit cards should I have, what happens if I close my credit accounts. So I thought it would be a great time to answer some of these frequently asked credit questions. So the first question I got was around, is there such a thing as good debt? And this for me is just very loaded because I feel like this all depends on a person's credit habits, their financial situation, how they manage their budget. And so for me, if you are somebody who does not manage debt well, I would say that there probably isn't good debt available for you. If you're somebody who's looking at asking, what's a healthy credit profile, right? I would say it's a minimum of 3 trade lines, a 12 plus months or more, right? Diversified between 2 revolving accounts like a line of credit or a credit card, and then 1 installment loan. Now, the other thing that you might want to consider when you're talking about good debt versus bad debt is the cost of borrowing money versus what you would actually make by investing the same funds. Right now, if you were borrowing money instead of paying cash, you would borrow at, let's say, a rate of 4%. Right now, investments, I think on the high side, are returning about 8%. So if you were to withdraw those funds from your investment and then pay cash, you're essentially losing 4% of earnings, right? So sometimes in some markets, it makes way more sense to borrow money than take out of your investments, which is why I think some people might consider that good debt versus bad debt. Overall, guys, whenever you're over leveraged, you can barely afford it, you're living paycheck to paycheck, for me, that's all bad debt. When we talk about good debt, it's how I'm leveraging my investments, how I'm building a good credit reputation, not maxing out my credit cards, keeping them under 30% of the credit limit. That's all good debt because you're leveraging what you already have, right? To give yourself more potential. So when you're weighing out what's good and bad, bad equals mucho stress. Good means leverage, reputation, potential. So the second question I got asked a lot was, how many credit cards should I have, and are there credit cards that are better than others? So for me, the best type of credit card that you can get is one that's going to report to the credit bureaus and one that has a limit big enough so that you're not going to exceed that 30% every single time you use them. So I would say a credit limit of no less than $500, right? So that way you have some flexibility with purchases. And then also you just want to make real sure, because there's some secured credit cards and some retail store credit cards that do not report to all 3 credit bureaus. Those types of cards for me are just a waste of time because you're just putting yourself into debt for no reason. So I wouldn't even waste my time with those. I would literally only apply for cards that are going to be reporting to Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. And you will want to make sure when you're applying for the credit cards that they have this policy in place. Now, the third question that I got asked a ton about was what happens to closed credit accounts? Whether you close them or the store closes them, this isn't the best thing for your credit. I know it's shocking. Like, you would think that having less credit is better, but when it comes to like your credit profile or the credit reputation I've been talking about, what we want to show banks is that you have a lot of credit available to you and that you're a responsible user. When you shut down your credit accounts or when they're inactive and they get shut down for you, what happens is it stops the reporting date from your credit, and after 6 months of inactivity, it actually has less and less weight to your overall credit score and profile. So sometimes you'll see a dip in credit scores when you do that. And so we just always want to maximize our highest credit potential. So for me, there have been accounts that I have just let age out. And, I let that happen for a reason because as those accounts are aging out, my newer credit report or my new credit lines are actually gaining more momentum because they're getting older and older. So eventually what will happen is your new credit accounts will be strong enough to replace the old ones and you won't really see that much of a credit impact. But try not to close credit accounts. I know it's tough, especially when you want to Maria Kondo your life. You do just want to be aware that that could be a negative side effect. Now, again, I say that because I'm talking about maximum credit potential. So if you are somebody who just does not manage debt well, close your credit accounts. I will tell you for sure, if you're maxing out your credit and not paying on time, that will have a dramatically worse impact to your credit score than having open accounts. So just so that you know, I'm just trying to give you the best advice, but the best advice is the one that you can manage responsibly. So I hope you found that to be super helpful. And if you have additional credit questions, I'm always happy to answer them for you, because credit is a big thing when it comes to finances, guys. So hopefully this was helpful, and I will hear from you soon.